wonder if we should think about talking to Moyers. Is it just too tedious? Or?
Well, I don't think so because
oh, I see.
You can talk to her about other things as well.
It reads a little differently than you put it. Because of the commas, I didn't know that were there. So it's a continuing sentence, and then it ends right there. God says. See, this is at the beginning of God's creating of the heavens and the earth. When the earth was wild and waste, darkness over the face of the ocean, rushing spirit of God hovering over the face of the waters, God said, "Let there be light." That was all one sentence.
I understand that, but it still is completely different than my version.
Oh, yeah, but it's not as convoluted as it sounded.
No. Sometimes you have to repeat things to you a couple of times before you get it. So I think you just went, I think you're a little slow out of the chute.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Give me some more coffee, would you?
I've had a computer for a couple of years now, but to be honest, I didn't see what all the fuss was about. Then I got America Online. Now I use it all the time. It makes my life easier. Watch. Use email to send messages to family and friends. Point and click your way around the internet with America Online's great new web browser. And there's more. Scan hundreds of magazines, get sports scores, enjoy hobbies, even shop online. So call this toll-free number and get everything you need to make your life easier and more fun.
Nobody knows more about homes than Century 21 Home Improvements. Hi there, I'm Carrie Whitaker, and a few days ago, this was a tired old kitchen. Hard to believe, but thanks to a process called cabinet refacing, Century 21 Home Improvements has made it beautiful again for substantially less than custom kitchen remodeling.
This video explains everything, and it's free. Refacing costs less because there's less construction. Your kitchen's framework is left intact. See? Solid wood. Why waste it? Reface it. Refacing begins by removing your old cabinet doors and drawer fronts. The finish is taken off, and the original framework covered with matching laminate. Then, new cabinet doors and drawer fronts are installed in your choice of style and finish. They can also custom-build cabinets, countertops, even center islands. Want to see more? Well, call for the free video, and you'll see how Century 21 Home Improvements can create the kitchen you want at a price you can afford.
Every week, Barron scours the investment world for growth opportunities with comprehensive coverage of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything that could affect your finances. Subscribe with your credit card now and get 17 weeks of Barron's for the price of 13. That's 4 more opportunities to turn money into wealth. Get 17 weeks of Barron's for only $37. That's 4 weeks free. Call now 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626.
Itchy skin?
During the night, it wakes me up. It's so itchy. I used Cordaid. Now I use Gold Bond Cream.
Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Itch relief that starts to work on contact. And a recent clinical study showed at 10 minutes,
Gold Bond Cream gave more effective itch relief than Cordaid. And it has 2 medically proven pain relievers not in Cordaid.
Within minutes, Gold Bond Cream relieved my itch, and I went back to sleep.
For itch relief that's effective and superior to Cordaid at 10 minutes, try Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626 for the Wall Street Journal.
MSNBC on the internet. Not duplication, but innovation. Instant access to the world. On your desk, in your home, wherever you may be. When you want to know more, point it here.
You know you need life insurance to protect the family you love. We know the way things go, it's hard to find the money to pay the premiums. You know you've got to do it, and we know we can help you. To protect your family's future security, many financial advisors recommend insurance coverage equal to 5 times your annual income. Wait. Before you say, I can't afford that, look into this money-saving offer from Garden State Life Insurance. If you're in good health and don't smoke cigarettes, Garden State Life can offer you quality term life insurance that may save you as much as 50% off what you're paying for term life insurance protection. Garden State Life guarantees your premiums remain the same for 8, 10, even 20 years to come. So if you need $25,000 to $1 million or more of quality life insurance protection, call today for this free information package and confidential coverage proposal. Garden State Life Insurance.
800-952-2626. Toll free 800-952-2626.
Imus in the morning.
Before you sit there and start ripping apart.
Honestly, I didn't rip apart anything. I
happen to really
that's a fine Christian attitude you have. Oh, wait a minute.
Good point.
This is WFAN in New York. Another whining Jew calling up criticizing the I-Man. Who needs that?
Choking an egg roll.
Yeah, God almighty. Well, we don't want it to choke on an egg roll, but I mean,
temporarily.
I wasn't ripping apart Edward. Far from it.
The I-Man finds himself in a condition of wonderment over all of this.
I asked a question, and I'm, I'm in the nascent stages here of studying this stuff. And God,
that woman should have been supportive for crying out.
Absolutely, that woman should want the I-Man to
die.
Lead me to the Word of God.
Jeez, what's the matter with her? I encourage you. This is great.
Yes. This is WFAN in New York. We are an Infinity broadcasting station. It's time for the local news. And here with that is Chuck McCord. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Donald Imus. Headlines, forecasters say the Santa Ana winds could die down for a time today in Southern California. It might give firefighters the break they've been hoping for as they try to douse 4 major wildfires.
Why do I think she's probably who Abraham was married to?
It could very well be.
Yeah.
See?
The reincarnation of Sarah.
Dysfunctional continues.
Another,
From Abraham and Sarah to this gal.
To this woman, Alyssa.
Merry Christmas. 3 Americans may be among the dead I-Man in a cargo plane crash in Ecuador. That word from radio reports. Opening arguments begin today in what's been dubbed the sequel of the century by some people. Lawyers on both sides of the O.J. wrongful death civil trial spelling out their plans of attack after some final hearings are held this morning. And President Clinton's in Florida today. Bob Dole's in Georgia first, then also will be campaigning in the state of Florida.
The Imus Morning Business Report, sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange. Today at the New York Stock Exchange, AmeriSafe and United Auto Group are scheduled to list as IPOs, and Secor Holdings will transfer from NASDAQ, and that they have now finally apparently seen the light. Well, the people at CBS News says it's absolutely false that they are thinking of hiring George Stephanopoulos. So,
What's Stephanopoulos?
Or Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Stephanopoulos. That they're not going to hire him, but
Well,
he wouldn't be a bad guy to hire. I know Charles doesn't agree with me, but I think he'd
to cover ice dancing.
That will be fine. In Peter Johnson's Inside TV column in USA Today, apparently Mr. Johnson was at the MSNBC party that to which I was not invited for some reason. And I guess Bernard and Dana went, and some other people from the staff, but nobody told me about it.
I'll be darned.
Wonder why.
I don't know. But I guess Andrew Lack, our leader, was joking that because of this battle going on with Time Warner and Rupert Murdoch, and whether Manhattan Cable and these other cable outfits in New York City are discussing, a couple of them are going to carry the new Fox News channel, which, by the way, is hideous, and the Bloomberg News service, which is unwatchable, because I can see them both on the satellite, and they're not just because I'm on NBC. And
just true fact.
It's just a fact. They suck. They're horrible. Maybe they'll get better, but they're hideous.
No.
At any rate, Mr. Lack joked that Mayor Giuliani couldn't be there because his son was playing in his first basketball game, and that was being covered by Fox. So I get apparently a lot of yucks at the MSNBC party.
I kind of like that.
That's good.
Bernard said Tim Russett was there, and he was drunk. So
he was falling down drunk. You kidding me?
Falling down drunk. So. Imus in the Morning news time is 3 after the hour of the Business Report, sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange.
Daddy?
I have your son. Give me $2 million.
Mel Gibson.
No ransom will ever be paid for my son.
Rene Russo.
Tell him that you were wrong.
You think I wouldn't do absolutely everything to get him back? Gary Sinise. Delroy Lindo.
The only priority is get your boy back.
In a Ron Howard film.
Hello!
On November 8th. Someone is going to pay.
Give me back my son!
Ransom. Rated R.
What should you see when you're looking at the target? Do you pull with the left or push with the right? What's a good bunker shot sound like? The answers are in Golf Digest. No matter how well you play, you'll find tips and advice that will dramatically improve your game. Guaranteed. Want to know if you're good enough to carry a 4-iron? And what's so bad about a flying elbow? Do you want to know what the right grip feels like? Then you must subscribe to Golf Digest. Like to know which new ball can really take strokes off your game? Or where the most affordable new courses are? It's all in Golf Digest, the world's most widely read golf publication. You'll get 12 issues of Golf Digest for only $19.77, plus a full money-back guarantee if it doesn't improve your game. Subscribe now and get our valuable video. Hit it longer and straighter, absolutely free.
Call 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626.
Syndicated around the country by Westwood One Entertainment. And we are owned and operated by the Imus Morning program and will be for the next 7 years by Infinity Broadcasting. And we are also on MSNBC. And that relationship continues to flourish. I just got off the phone with the rather portly, grocery-challenged Terry Irving. Did you see him out in Milwaukee? He could stand to skip a couple Egg McMuffins, couldn't he?
What is he thinking? What's happened to him?
I don't know, but if I met him, Moose Butt Borman brought him over. Moose Butt Borman is the general manager of MSNBC, and Irving is, I don't know what he does. He handles his show and other stuff.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty good, and like overnight he put on 20 pounds. I mean, he's a moose.
We've known him a very short time.
And they're all fat over there.
He has exploded.
Yeah. So that everything appears to be okay. Stanley Crouch. He's a fascinating guy and a wonderful writer. And we talked to him about a number of things, and we'll talk some baseball with Tim McCarver. Also, Walter Cronkite will be on. And an edition of Imus in Washington and Delbert McClinton. And we may talk to Fred, and who knows what else will happen. But it's time now for the national news, and with that, Charles McCord. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, man. And speaking of baseball,
I don't feel well.
Yeah. What's the matter?
Man, I can't tell you how sick I was yesterday and last night. And I was so sick I was unable to attend the Broadway performance of Sex and Longing, which I had paid for these tickets. So, but my wife was she came home around 7 o'clock, and I was ready to go. I was ready to go.
You mean you had sucked it up and were ready to even?
I'd sucked it up. No kidding. I puffed up my hair and put on my little hideous Roy Rogers outfit. What's the matter?
What, the black hat?
No, I didn't. I don't wear my hat to the theater.
Long black coat thing?
No. My Armani top coat? No.
With the black lizard
You have
boots?
no taste. You're a dork doofus.
Look over there.
You look like you buy your clothes at Walmart, except for that bandana tie-on from the Auto Body Express, which is great. Plus, Charles has on. Is that one of the Fred shirts?
No, as a matter of fact, it's not. My Fred shirt's at the cleaners, so I wanted one that was about the same color as
I like that shirt.
Yeah.
But Charles is wearing the Joseph Abboud Auto Body Express bandana tie, which is fabulous.
Oh, they're dynamite.
Anyway. No, but I mean...
So you didn't wear your little Jimmy Dickens outfit?
No, my wife says, you don't look well. Why don't you stay home? And I'll...
What was new?
Very sweet of her to not make me go to this thing. Well, she did not make me go, but I...
Excuse me? Get up.
No, she's not like that.
Car's down.
She go with the karate instructor?
No, she didn't go. She stayed home and took care of me.
Oh.
It was very sweet of her.
Absolutely.
She made me some split pea and carrot soup.
Let's not get into that. I had enough detail on that from you last night on the telephone.
And then she has all of these various vitamins she gives me every day.
Yeah.
Twin Lab, by the way. And then some other...
they're vitamins. Go with that.
But she makes me take 20 of them at a time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, of course.
And so it made the I-Man herb.
Have you ever heard the toxicity that's involved in megadosing of some of this stuff?
Well, no, she doesn't do that. But anyways, but I don't feel well.
Why did you have to tell me, though, in graphic detail? Well,
I don't know.
Can't even get into it.
I was really sick. I still don't feel well.
Well, I mean, enough would have been to say you were nauseous and sick to your stomach, and you could have dropped it at that, rather than...
You didn't want to hear about Erping up big chunks of soup?
No, I didn't then, last night, and I don't now.
Oh, okay.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
All right.
Don't go there.
All right, it's time for the national news. What's going on?
First of all...
Why does the geeky intern bring me cold coffee?
Well,
because he doesn't like you.
Well, then why don't we get an intern who does like me?
That's impossible to do.
Haven't got that long.
We've been asking that question for years.
Come on, Clyde, you'll like
That's a stupid question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, baseball. Atlanta up 2-1 now as the Yankees defeated the Braves last night 5-2 behind David Cohn and all the guys.
Now play again tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox, and it will be Kenny Rogers for the Yankees and
Michael Bolton for
the Atlanta Braves or whomever.
In the headline stories, I-Man, more than 130 homes have now been damaged or destroyed, and 6 firefighters hurt, one of them critically. In the this fellow reportedly near death burns over 70% of his body, fighting the wildfires in Southern California. Firefighters are hoping the Santa Ana winds will die down to enable them to get a handle on the fires that have burned 35,000 acres in 3 Southern California counties for the past few days now. Governor Wilson's spokesman, Ron Lowe, on the governor's disaster declaration.
The governor has declared a state of emergency in the counties of Los Angeles, Orange, and San Diego as a result of damage from the recent fires that have swept through Southern California. The governor has also requested a presidential declaration of emergency for the 3 counties.
But at last report, the 4 main wildfires burning are only described as about half contained. And then a 9-year-old boy has confessed to setting a fire which consumed a factory and a number of houses in South Providence, Rhode Island overnight.
Kids these days.
100 people are homeless as a result. Providence Mayor Vincent Buddy Cianci on the arson suspect.
He is in custody. He made incriminating statements. He was in the presence of his mother. He's basically confessed to this dastardly deed.
Of the 100 people who were left homeless, 60 of them are children there in South Providence, Rhode Island.
We're just looking at some footage on MSNBC, and it looks like it set half the town on fire.
It was, as Mayor Cianci said, a dastardly deed. The number of deaths from the crash of a cargo plane in Ecuador is now put at least 23. Local radio reports said 3 of the dead are believed to be American crew members of the Boeing 707. A reporter at the scene says he has seen 20 bodies in the morgue, and there is fear the toll will rise
Eddie,
in
don't
the
you
cargo crash in Ecuador. What?
Don't you like the I-Man? What have I done to you? I've been nice to you since you've been here, haven't I?
Oh, yeah.
Have I ever done anything mean to you?
Not really.
Why did you have to think about it?
Oh, please.
No, I didn't.
Well, what have I done to you? Haven't I always been nice to you?
Sure.
When you bring me coffee, don't I say thank you?
Sure.
Okay, get out.
Keep touching his butt in here.
Where do you go to school?
I just graduated, actually.
From where?
University of Vermont.
University of Vermont?
Yeah.
It's not a school. What is it, like a ski lodge?
Yeah, really.
It is, yeah. It's in the chateau.
What did you study?
Marketing and international business.
Good.
Now he's making coffee for
I
the
predict
I-Man.
you'll be selling crack here in about a week. Get out.
Well, that's marketing.
Thanks, Eddie. You're
welcome.
Lovely young man. Where do you get these people?
I get them from the different schools.
What's wrong with Eddie?
Eddie's fine. But I mean, why would Eddie, because he buys into your rap, why would Eddie suggest that I haven't been nice to him? I have been nice. I'm nice to all the interns.
Because he doesn't fill out a little sweater there, I-Man?
You know, you're just don't start with me after what I heard about you and Lori Ingram over at the MSNBC party. She was hanging all over you like a wet T-shirt.
That's just, how can you take that back?
Well, are you denying it then?
Of course I'm denying
okay.
it.
Fine. I'll take your word then over the word of a person who reported to me on what was going on at the MSNBC party. Apparently, Laura Ingram was following you around like a little dewy-eyed puppy.
Can I respectfully call you the A word?
No.
For saying that?
No. All I'm doing. Why would he take this out on me? All I'm doing is reporting what I heard, right?
Why would you do this? Why would you go into this area, which is obviously a difficult one, and one that Bernard would rather not visit?
As a married man?
Well, I asked Bernard about that, and he said fine. He said it was not true.
I said it wasn't true. Of course it's not
okay.
true.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, Bernard, and good for you.
Well, where did these reports come from, then?
Terry Irving told me.
Terry's just a fat loser who was hanging out with Moose Butt Borman because nobody would talk to him.
Well, that's where I got the report.
Well, it's not true. I just happened to know her from the show. We were hanging out. I mean, I don't know anybody over there.
Oh, okay. So to make sure you're behaving yourself, that's all.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Can I sleep at your house tonight?
Well, your wife knows. I knew your wife before you knew her, so she knows I'm kidding. It's a quarter after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program.
What was the eye roll there, eye man?
I keep forgetting that was nothing. Was no eye roll.
Man, he's a mutt.
Hello.
You're a mutt.
He's a mutt. You're right.
It's a quarter after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program. What else? Well, the O.J. Simpson trial starts today. Once again, the Yankees did win last night, 5-2.
Yeah.
They'll play again tonight. We'll talk to Tim McCarver about that later on this morning. Stanley Cross before that, but we have more news. And
God, you're just like.
And I'm so irritated with Rob. You know, here's the thing. See, this is not the first time this has happened. Now, I don't keep a log of these incidents, but every time he does something, and by the way, he's not going on the Hate Radio Rodeo, which by the way highly irritates me, and because he has something else he has to do. So it's like these gigs that he has, that he badgers me into promoting all of the time. Now we have this spoof on presidential politics that will be held Friday, November 1st. Up at Bushnell, and this is on Connecticut, on the Connecticut Forum letterhead. They apparently are sponsoring this affair. Al Franken will be there, and Bob Englehart, Jeff Greenfield, and Rob Bartlett. And they have those little 4-line bios of each of them. Mm-hmm. The bios of all of the other people appear to be accurate, but the bio of Rob, and now there have been a couple of occasions. Well, there was a newspaper article, wasn't there, where he was portrayed as doing all of the voices on the Imus in the Morning program. And that's the situation we have here now.
Uh-oh.
Rob Bartlett, the person behind all the voices on the Imus in the Morning program. Well, so then I asked myself, well, where does that leave Larry Kinney?
Unemployed.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So we'll find out whether, in fact, You'll hear, in fact, tomorrow's on the Imus in the Morning program, Rob Bartlett's Richard Nixon. Let's do that, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Fine. I'll have him do all the voices.
In fact, here's what I want you to write today.
Oh, I already got it.
Okay, I want you to write an essay that includes Richard Nixon,
absolutely,
Walter Cronkite, and Andy Rooney.
All right. Done.
That's why you're in the Radio Hall of Fame.
There you go, Mother Marconi.
And then we'll see how that sounds tomorrow. Sure. We'll see. So the people at the Connecticut Forum can get a sense of kind of... I'll tell you what. You just write one essay, and then we'll have them both do it.
Okay.
Is that a good idea? Or, well, we'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll figure. We'll figure something out. It's coming up on. I Am an Evil Person, huh?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You are a mutt.
I was hanging out with Brian Williams and a million other people as well.
Brian Williams hit on Bernie?
Yeah, nobody says he was hitting on me. I was hanging out with a million people.
Why get mad at me when I get a report?
And by the way...
But to repeat it like that...
Well, why did you go back to it, Bernie? We had dropped it.
Yeah, we had dropped it and moved on, and I was going to drop it. I realized that. I realized apparently it's a sensitive issue. And by the way, I was just kidding around. I absolutely, if you want me to be brutally honest here, and if you are sensitive about it, I know that's ridiculous, but I was just kidding around. If you're sensitive about it, I'll drop it. Clearly, I'm kidding.
As Ray Donovan said, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Yeah, you know. Well, look at the comments you make. You make these salacious, hideous, sexist comments all the time, so you bring this on yourself, don't you?
No.
This is the gateway to new frontiers, the Internet and the World Wide Web. You can master them with Internet World, the leading magazine for news and information about the Internet. Whether you're an expert or just logging on, Internet World is your authoritative source for useful information like critiques on hardware and software, tips on navigating the net, and reviews of the latest websites. But that's just the beginning. Internet World also covers news and issues about how the Internet will affect you, the way you do business, and your future. You'll be prepared with the latest information and insights you'll need to make the most of this rapidly changing technology. 12 issues are just $16.77, 72% off the newsstand price. Call now and receive free How the Internet Can Work for You, a unique guide filled with valuable articles and ideas.
Master the Internet. Call 800-641-1919. That's 800-641-1919 for Internet World Magazine.
Tonight on the site, How a report posted on the web may have exposed a secret CIA drug ring. Will the internet change the way you get news? Tonight at 10 Eastern on MSNBC.
Remember when doctors made house calls? Today, medicine is a lot more complicated. Now it's CT scans, MRIs, and other sophisticated tests. So how do you begin to keep up? With Mayo Clinic's award-winning monthly newsletter, you get facts that can calm your fears, facts that can open your eyes, facts that can help you ask your doctor the right questions. Every month, the Mayo Clinic Health Letter informs hundreds of thousands of readers. To subscribe, just call this toll-free number. Do it now, and you'll also get 3 bonus medical reports and a yearly index, plus this handy bonus binder. You'll even receive Stretching Your Healthcare Dollars as a free gift.
Call 800-641-1919 to get 12 monthly issues plus medical reports, index binder, and free booklet, all for just $24. Use your credit card or we'll bill you in 3 easy payments. Call 800-641-1919 now.
Made in Italy. If you want the real thing, the real Italian pasta then you want real Torino. Real Torino pasta is the delicious real Italian pasta imported from Italy. It always tastes delicious, always al dente. Make a whole line of stuff, so whether it's rigatoni, linguine, ziti, spaghetti, or whatever. Real Torino. To learn more about Real Torino, check out the internet under pasta.com.
Stand by for news. Democrat freeholders in Union County, New Jersey.
There's a problem there.
Imus in the morning.
Jeff Greenfield appears on ABC News, and he writes for Time Magazine. And here he is now. Good morning, Mr. Greenfield.
I greet you from outside New Haven, Connecticut, from a pay telephone, since I mistimed my arrival at my daughter's apartment from which to call you. That's how excited I was by the debate.
Well, what did you think?
High-minded, substantive, conversational, civil, all the things that our political reformers like, and the reporters who often condemn sound bites and attack politics were very disappointed because they were looking for blood on the floor.
Well, as were we, sure. So there's no clip out of this that we're all going to be watching.
Well, that's the thing, that we have now reduced 36 years of presidential debates into Nixon sweating, Reagan drooling, Reagan being good, Ford liberating Poland, Dukakis not caring if his wife were murdered, and Bush looking at his watch. I think I've now summarized the whole thing.
Yes, you have, and very well.
And in this case...
Brought to you by the New York Times. From the NFL to the FBI, it's all part of the Times. Pick up a copy, or for 7-day delivery, call 1-800-NYTIMES. That's 1-800-NY-TIMES. I'm Lori McNichol for the Beltlantic Non-X Mobile Fan Highway Patrol.
Well, I'm here at a neighborhood playground asking parents which form of heating they use.
Wide Web. You can master them with Internet World, the leading magazine for news and information about the Internet. Whether you're an expert or just logging on, Internet World is your authoritative source for useful information like critiques on hardware and software, tips on navigating the net, and reviews of the latest websites. But that's just the beginning. Internet World also covers news and issues about how the Internet will affect you, the way you do business, and your future. You'll be prepared with the latest information and insights you'll need to make the most of this rapidly changing technology. 12 issues are just $16.77, 72% off the newsstand price. Call now and receive free How the Internet Can Work for You, a unique guide filled with valuable articles and ideas.
Master the Internet. Call 800-641-1919. That's 800-641-1919 for Internet World Magazine.
Live from Fulton County State, well, probably a hotel there in Atlanta. We'll talk with Tim McCarver. But next on the Imus in the Morning program, author Stanley Crouch.
Imus in the morning.
All right, let me me talk to you about the New York Times, which I have no copy for, but I can tell you that my Frank Rich, who was on this program yesterday, is on the op-ed page of this morning's New York Times with a column entitled Free Rupert Murdoch, right? Did you read it?
Yeah, I read some of it. Yes.
Well, reading some of it suggests that...
I had to go. Well, I didn't have time to finish it. I should put it that way.
Well, perhaps you should call 1-800-NYT-IMAS and get your own copy of it.
This is shaving with a blade from the skin split.
So somebody going to get Stanley? Microphones and cameras are on all the time in here, even when we're in a break.
Right.
So
don't spit on the floor.
Well, you know, don't say anything you don't want everybody to hear.
Okay. I'll be sure not to do that.
So I was showing him this copy of the Execution song that I bought. And it's autographed to Dale, looks like Dale Hartman from Norman Mailer. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Crouch observed that the inscription reads, "To Dale Hartman, cheers." Norman Mailer, and he said, I doubt that Norman Mailer would, but maybe he did.
You know, that's a strange inscription for a book about a murder.
Cheers.
Right.
You know, I was telling Charles, how tall are you?
About 5'10".
Oh, I thought you were taller than him because you seem to be taller.
It's his persona. He is a big man.
In a year, I hope to be.
Because all I've ever seen is on television.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go into it. I'm going into it.
Introducing Precision Movements by Raymond Weil. The Parsifal Collection. Swiss handcrafted, water-resistant, solid 18-karat gold and stainless steel. Raymond Weil invites you to enter the world of movement and extreme accuracy. At last, a timepiece whose style matches your own. The Parsifal Collection. Available at fine jewelers.
I can't get my kids to eat right. All they want is junk food.
One way to give them extra nutrition is with rich chocolate Ovaltine. It's got vitamins Nestle Quick and Hershey's don't.
Rich chocolate Ovaltine in the new blue package. Tastes great. Great for you.
Need stronger itch medication?
The rash will keep me awake. It burns and itches.
Extra Strength Gold Bond Medicated Powder with extra strength to medicate, absorb, and dry.
I can sleep better due to the itch relief.
Extra Strength Gold Bond. Extra medicated for extra relief.
Imus in the morning.
2000 now. Prices per person, double occupancy with midweek air. Valid from 11/1 through 12/196. Restrictions apply. Airport PFC, government departure taxes, and hotel levy not included.
Hi, I'm Imus in the morning. It is 30 minutes past the hour. Stanley Crouch is the author of the All-American Skin Game, or most recently, or The Decoy of Race. It's a collection of essays, speeches, and reviews published by Pantheon, which is an imprint of Random House. Mr. Crouch is a contributing editor to the New Republic. He's a Sunday columnist for the New York Daily News and was for years a jazz critic and staff writer for the Village Voice. Mr. Crouch is also artistic consultant to jazz over at Lincoln Center. And here he is now, Stanley Crouch. Good morning, Mr. Crouch.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. How about you guys?
Well, we're fine.
Okay, good.
We were telling him during the commercials that I tell everybody. Well, we tell everybody. You see, here's the difference with this program and other programs. We, on talk shows, like Charlie Rose he's got to have a guest every night. I mean, he's just locked into that. That's the format.
That's his deal, yeah.
We don't have to, so. But one of these days we'll get somebody in here who we don't want on, and we won't tell them that the mics are on.
I thought you were going to say that you could just tell them, hey.
No.
Oh, no.
No, we'll just
let him sabotage himself.
We'll just say we won't tell them the mic's on, and then we'll try to sandbag him into saying something horrible about somebody. So.
Or about himself.
Oh, anything, sure. So, I left my copy of the All-American Skin Game at home. I took it home.
So did I.
Did you? But in that, we talked about this last time we talked to you. You wrote this essay about the O.J. Simpson case it was published, I believe, on July 31st, which was about a month and a half after the murders.
Right, yeah, something like that.
And before the original trial, and you essentially predicted that, well, tell me what you predicted.
Well, I said that, there would be, Furman would play a very, very large role in the defense, that given what had already come out about him, that we might hear something about conspiracies. And I also talked about the fact that that what the Simpson case
really is about is the the complexity of success in our lives in America, and how many things people are bothered by, both internally and externally, and that race is far more complex than we tend to think it is, because we tend to think that it just divides people into two parts. One group is on this side and one group's on the other side, rather than the fact that class is involved, profession is involved, individual personality is involved, one's ambitions, one's demons, all of those things are wrapped up in there too. And so that oftentimes we miss out on the humanity of each other when we just say, oh, that's a black guy, and then the guy says, oh, that's a white man. So that kind of thing gets in the way. And I thought that we would see something pretty much as largely as dramatic as we did see. Although, of course, I was surprised, as everybody else was, by some of the stuff that came out.
Well, of course, none of us knew about the tape that Mr. Furman had made with his screenwriter. But you did say, and I read the essay again last night, that you thought that the black women on the jury might find it offensive, I guess is the best word I can describe, or the fact that O.J. was married to a white woman, that a lot of black women feel that way.
Well, actually, I thought that was one of the things that seemed to me that Jeffrey Toobin missed in his book, was that thinking back on it, it is highly possible, since that was published in the Los Angeles Times, that the prosecution could have read that, and that may well have influenced their allowing so many black female jurors to go onto the jury, assuming that here's this black guy, good-looking, successful, millionaire, marries a white woman, and there's so few of these black guys who are available who have money, and look, what do? They get that money and run out after them blondes.
Yeah.
And so that was a big mistake, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think, though, do you think he was right in his supposition that Marcia Clark had this special relationship with black female jurors because of some previous trials she'd had?
Well, I don't know. You never can tell, because first thing, Marcia Clark is Jewish, and many Jews assume, quite rightly, that they have a relationship with black Americans, and she may well have, in her college experience, been one of the kind of women who was interested in people outside of her ethnic group, and developed good friendships with them, and may well have found out more through these friendships about the personal lives of the various black females that she may well have met than a lot of other women her same age in parallel professions. So she may well have thought that when she got up there, she could really communicate to them in a way that they would emotionally identify with what it is she happened to be saying.
It's 25 till the hour. We're talking with Stanley Crouch, whose most recent book is The All-American Skin Game, or The Decoy Race. It's a collection of his essays and speeches, self-published by Pantheon, which is an imprint of Random House, and it's still available all over the country, right? Probably be a paper.
I hope it is.
Yeah. And Mr. Crouch was, along with Molly Ivins and P.J. O'Rourke, was on 60 Minutes during the summer, right?
Yeah, we were some casualties.
Yeah. How was that experience?
It was brief.
Yeah.
The crew at 60 Minutes is really special. They're very relaxed. They know how to encourage you to go in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in there, they don't tell you, well, look, I know just what'll work for you. Do it this way. It's like one of those guys that sells you a sad suit in the store, or attempts to. He says, I know what'll look good on you, right?
Yeah.
And you say, yeah, well, I don't want to look like Flash Gordon, no. So it was nice. It was nice. They were very good. They were very relaxed again, and they had a good sense of humor, and also they had that kind of professionalism that New York specializes in, which is sometimes it's a fake. There's a fake bitchery on the surface,
mm-hmm.
but that's just a kind of a joke about just the stuff, that the fact that all of us are irritated by different things in New York, and so it's a high probability when a bunch of people come into a room at a certain hour that something happened to all of them in New York on the way there, right?
That sounds horrible. Yeah. We all hate everybody and everything. We hate everything about everybody.
I thought they were great.
Andy Rooney was over here, and he's on occasionally, and he said he thought that the reason it didn't work out was that there was a difference, and Charles and I talk about this often, that there's a difference in writing for the ear and the eye, and that while you all were accomplished columnists, particularly you and Miss Ivins, and I guess P.J. O'Rourke, well, P.J. O'Rourke too, of course, that was one of the reasons it didn't work. Did you think that was one of the reasons? I don't mean to dwell on this, but it just...
Oh, no, I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why at all. I think the problem was that not enough time was spent developing it. I mean, you know, it's just like in your business. Everybody, some things work immediately. Other things you have to develop. And sometimes what you're doing, if it's unfamiliar to an audience, you have to just work on it until you get it. You know, it's like a blade on a machete. You know, when they sell them to you in Mexico, they're not sharp. Now you could put some dents in somebody's head with one of them, but if you want to slice them, you have to take it and put it on a stone, and sharpen that edge. And so I think that that's probably what we may well have needed, was just more sharpening. But I don't think it was a problem of going from page to print.
Of course, there are a number of examples in television of just that, of shows that didn't make it the first season, didn't make it the second season, like Cheers, or for example, or even Friends. Or I mean, just to cite a couple of recent examples. Well, Friends, at least. So.
Right.
Who are you supporting for president?
Well, you know, the guy who's most interesting to me is Ralph Nader, actually.
Why?
Well, when I saw him give his acceptance speech on C-SPAN, I was really very impressed by him. Because first thing, he came with serious information about, you know, long-term relationships between the Republicans and their backers, the Democrats and their backers, what had been promised, what had been achieved. And he also seemed to me to...
You want some coffee or something?
No, thank you. I don't drink coffee. If I drank coffee, I would be running around the wall, you know. But I like the fact that here's a guy, what can you accuse him of? Changing the automobile industry? you know what I mean? You don't becoming the guy that set up the whole possibility of Consumer Reports. You know, a man who's never been accused of selling out to anybody. And he had another thing I liked about him was he was funny too, because he made an observation about something, and he said he was talking about certain people in American society. He said, well, you know, some of these people are like the guy that they ask, do you know the difference between ignorance and apathy? And his answer was, I don't know and I don't care. And so I liked him. I liked him a lot. I mean, of course, I thought it was unfortunate that he chose not to come out here and campaign harder. Not that he would have won, but see, he's so strong. And he's got really so much information about, you know, contracts, the ecology, you know, ecological promises that weren't kept. And see, had he been strong enough in terms of his campaigning, he would have changed the nature of the discussion between Dole and Clinton dramatically. And had he campaigned harder, the media, how's the media going to ignore Ralph Nader?
Yeah.
You know,
because
he's the reason you have seatbelts in your car. You know,
and he's not a nut like Ross Perot. So.
No, he's not even vaguely a nut.
Yeah.
Plus, he's learned how to give a speech too, because people told me that before they had heard him, and he was kind of you know, combination of heroin, lithium, and you know, black Bushmills.
I know you're a big jazz guy, and as I mentioned, artistic consultant, jazz over at Lincoln Center. And maybe I should know this, but are you into folks like B.B. King and those folks, and even
B.B. King is one of the great musicians that is, you know, of the second half of the century in American music, and he's.
We just had him here the other day. It's just a huge treat. In fact, of all of the people who we've had on, everybody from the president to whomever, well, we won't be having the president on again, but just one anyway. But he and Willie Nelson are the only two people anybody ever asked for autographs, and mostly B.B. King. And have you read his autobiography?
No, I haven't read that yet.
Wonderful. I read it twice, and I know it sounds, how could it be wonderful, but it's what a great American story. The guy came out of cotton fields in the Mississippi Delta, and walked into a radio station in Memphis, and I believe it was Sonny Boy Williamson #1 had a radio show there, or maybe it was #2. Did you know Sonny Boy Williamson #2 was older than Sonny Boy Williamson #1?
Yes, I actually did.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, here B.B. King comes on the cotton field in the Delta, walks into and then becomes a pilot. Flew, and now he's flying around his own plane. And, but I just wondered if you were into that kind of blues, or whether you were more into Wynton Marsalis and that stuff.
Oh no, well see, those kind of guys, B.B. King. Well, he's an extension of people like Robert Johnson, whom I've liked for many years.
One of his great inspirations was Blind Lemon Jefferson and Lonnie Johnson and T-Bone Walker too. So.
Yeah, well, Blind Lemon Jefferson, he'll make you think about something. I mean, he had an extraordinary sound.
Yeah, we were listening to some of that the other day.
So you think you know the news. Well, do you remember this? When did this launch a president's passion? How come the king wore khakis? Why isn't this man smiling?
Nobody's going to happen here.
What is he even talking about?
So if you think you know the news, remember this. The News Quiz Show premieres Friday, October 25th at 7:30 Eastern on MSNBC.
Don't forget, remember this.
If you're looking for job options and opportunities in today's tough economy, you need the nation's #1 job search publication, the National Business Employment Weekly, the only publication that updates you weekly on top jobs available regionally and nationwide. All kinds of jobs, professional, managerial, technical. And you'll learn how to land one of those jobs by improving the way you write your resume and the way you interview. You'll learn new strategies for earning a promotion and negotiating a raise. And twice a month, you'll get the special Franchises and Business Opportunities section, the National Business Employment Weekly, at your newsstand now, or call now and get 8 job-packed issues delivered for just $35. Also get absolutely free the Job Search Guide, a collection of the best ideas to help you land a job.
Call 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626.
The National Business Employment Weekly. If you're not looking here, you're hardly looking.
We put the world together for you. MSNBC.
Skin rash?
Red rough rashes that really make me itch. I have used Lanacane in the past. Now I use Gold Bond cream.
Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Itch relief that starts to work on contact. And a recent clinical study showed at 10 minutes, Gold Bond cream gave more effective itch relief than Lanacane. And it has 2 medically proven pain relievers not in Lanacane.
Gold Bond cream did stop the itch almost immediately.
For itch relief that's effective and superior to Lanacane at 10 minutes, try Gold Bond medicated cream.
Every month, enter the world of fine interior design. Enter the fascinating world of Architectural Digest. View a pied-à-terre in Paris and an English designer's bright and airy London home. Call now and get 12 issues of Architectural Digest for only $29.95. You'll also receive absolutely free Celebrity Homes Revisited, a tour that includes the homes of Jeffrey Bean, Pavarotti, and Cher.
Call toll-free 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626.
Tonight on the news with Brian Williams, Jay Leno.
I'm lashing out because I'm under fire here tonight, but...
Brian turns the tables on the king of late night. Tonight at 9 Eastern on MSNBC.
You into sports? I mean really into sports? Great, me too. The Big Four. You know, football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. If you're like me, you need more than the score. You need to know what's coming. Penetrating analysis of teams and players. The inside story on strategies and trade rumors. Who's hot and who's not. And why. From people out there where it's happening. Like me, week after week. And I'll even give you a great deal. We've been called the Bible of sports for over 100 years. We deliver the inside scoop on every team, on every franchise. So no matter where you live, the sporting news keeps you close to your favorite team, pro or college. Okay, here's the deal.
Call 1-800-641-1919 to get 4 free issues of the Sporting News and tell them The Fly sent you.
He was talking about
The First Lady.
We don't need to get into that, do we, Mr. King?
Well, I'm just letting you know that I watched the show.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Did you try to copy T-Bone Walker when you started?
Yes. If I'd have been a girl, I would have tried to marry him.
Well, you tried to marry everybody else, Mr. King. I mean, almost more than you want to know about somebody, you know?
That's very unusual.
More than I wanted to know.
Well, maybe, I guess maybe he's following Will Chamberlain's reading.
Man, he put up well numbers.
Yeah.
Well, it might be true.
But it doesn't read. It reads like, it doesn't make you uncomfortable. It didn't make me uncomfortable. I mean, I don't want to know what a guy prefers when he's having sex. I just don't want to know.
Oh, also, I would know what I want to tell you. I appear in the Daily News now on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Daniel, Stanley Crouch, Stanley Dana Kavanaugh.
Hi, oh, you're Danny Kavanaugh.
Yes,
Hi,
nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
you.
Something like Danielle or something? Something like that.
Yes.
How are you?
Started.
I'm good.
Want any orange juice or anything like that?
No, thank you.
Well, I didn't go to that thing last night. Oh, man.
We have answers. Congressman Bill Martini voted for our plan to give families a $500 per child.
What do you suppose is in that yogurt I eat? It looks to me like there's bugs or something.
Oh, there's not bugs in it. I mean, nothing.
Didn't you tell me that the FDA allows a certain amount
It's microscopic. Don't worry about it. Of course, there's a little bit of fecal matter in your. Don't worry about it.
I don't want to hear about that.
Don't worry.
Well, the question is, how little is it?
Very little.
Let me just,
Microscopic.
let me have some apple juice and like a toasted bagel with a little butter on it, please. But anyway, I was telling you about all the sex stuff in B.B. King's, but not sex stuff, that's not right. But just how candid he is about...
Candid to a fault, almost, so far as the...
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I said, Mr. King, I did not want to know that you were ever in an orgy.
Yeah, probably many. Probably as many as he wanted to be. Anyway.
Of course.
No, not today. Not today. But this time we have girls from Borneo.
Oh, well, that's very different.
Okay.
He's, Okay.
Whether it's a cross-country trip or just a cross-town commute, you'll be more than prepared for your next big adventure. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
Congratulations on the Outback. See you in New York, New Jersey, Subaru.
well, there was a time when your phone service was as easy as, well, you know, popping a meal in the microwave. Now it's a cellular.
So you've chosen to be your own boss. Running your own business means doing what you love, doing what you do best, except one thing you don't love one bit, doing the books. Well, now you can say goodbye to your bookkeeping hassles forever, because the makers of Quicken have invented QuickBooks, the #1 selling accounting software that makes it fast and easy to do the things you don't love doing, like paying bills, writing invoices, figuring out what your customers owe, even tracking inventory and doing payroll. QuickBooks makes it all hassle-free. How's this for fast information? A click, and QuickBooks shows you this quarter's income and expenses. And look, a few keystrokes, and QuickBooks does your invoicing for you, and then does the bookkeeping automatically. So you can get back to doing what you do best, growing your business. It's even easy to try QuickBooks. Call now to get a trial version absolutely free through this special limited-time TV offer.
That number is 1-800-952-2626.
Do you know you might be spending double what you need to for your life insurance? Have a pencil ready. In a moment, I'll give you a toll-free number you can call to find out. American Republic Insurance Company has a breakthrough buying system for purchasing low-cost, high-quality term life insurance. By using an 800 number, you now buy direct from the company. These are policies that can also save you hundreds of dollars a year. Want proof? $30 a month, just $1 a day, buys $369,000 of coverage for a man age 35. Also, for $1 a day, a woman age 35 can buy $430,000 of coverage. And these rates are guaranteed level for 10 years. Get your free no-obligation custom quote and full information. Call the company direct at 1-800-952-2626. American Republic, the direct-to-you way to buy the most term life insurance at a truly low cost. Stop overspending. Call this toll-free number today, 1-800-952-2626.
Wonderful essays on race and everything else in the blues, and even the Constitution is the blues, right?
Everything.
And Mr. Krause writes on Wednesday and Sunday in the New York Daily News, and he's the artistic consultant to jazz over at Lincoln Center. Well, we just celebrated the first anniversary of the Million Man March, and Minister Farrakhan is, what's the matter?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Minister Farrakhan is taking credit for this 7% drop in crime, I guess specifically in black communities around the country. Did that have a positive effect, do you suppose, in some of these neighborhoods?
Well, you have to remember that Farrakhan also has talked about flying into outer space, spaceships piloted by Elijah Muhammad. So I think you can probably put those two together.
Hey, did you hear what Marion Barry said?
No.
Marion Barry, the mayor of Washington, D.C., he said, if you don't count the murders, crime's down in Washington, D.C. But you know what? I mean, that's a goofy statement. But does that, did he mean something else by that? I mean.
Well, one can't tell. Because Marion Barry's story, now that's another story, too.
Yeah.
That's a serious story. But, the whole Million Man March business, I mean, that's okay. But the problem that I think we have here is that the Million Man March is truly the result of over 300 black organizations nationwide. It includes sororities, fraternities, radio commentators, magazines, newspapers, community organizers, churches. And because the Nation of Islam doesn't really have that kind of outreach. And it's fascinating to me that, once again, we have a situation in which everything turns out to be focused on one individual at the expense of what really took place. Without those 300 organizations, the Million Man March might have been in a phone booth.
Yeah.
It's much like what happened with Nelson Mandela. There was all of this activity on the part of black Americans in lobbying groups, as mayors who refused to do business with companies that did business with South Africa, disinvestment on college campuses. And you turn around and you would think that Nelson Mandela sprouted wings and flew out of jail. So he comes to America, and all these black people go out to see him as though he's descended from the clouds, as though there was no extraordinarily complicated and absolutely important involvement on the part of black Americans in having this enormous impact on foreign policy, and obviously on the politics of a foreign country, right? But I think that a lot of people feel that if we really looked at the black American situation realistically, which would mean that we would have to truly embrace its complexity, then we would get confused. No, I mean, it's like, because we just want them to be, those black guys.
Yeah.
And then they say, no, we're not being simple-minded now, because there are also, those black females. And if you really want to get complex, those black children. Mm-hmm. So we've got at least 3 types. And so you can't accuse me of being simple-minded about those people. And I think that where we're going, though, given especially what you were saying earlier about a guy like B.B. King, is that I think the country is moving further and further away from a simple-minded vision of race relations and the meaning of American life. That's why I don't think that a guy like Farrakhan is going to be important. Eventually he'll sink back down into the cult status that he rose out of when Jesse Jackson registered his cult in 1984 to try to bring them into Jackson's presidential campaign. Because the more complexly you look at American life, the less important some, racist demagogue becomes, regardless of what color he happens to be.
Is this film Spike Lee has done, Get on the Bus, that I guess is about a group of guys who went from Los Angeles to the Million Man March. Is that a representative statement about what happened, or I haven't seen it, so have you?
No, I haven't seen it.
You know anything about it? Or?
See, the last time I went to a screen, I was invited to some screenings, but the last screening that I went to of a Spike Lee movie, they said that my name wasn't on the list. And then I called and found out that Spike Lee had said, don't let him come into the screening. So I didn't feel like going down there, even though they'd send me an invitation.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like going down there and saying,
Why wouldn't he want you there?
well, I'm not a big fan of his thought patterns. I'm very impressed by his talent. He has a real talent for the making of movies. He absorbs.
The Beirut bombing tonight. You're connected to MSNBC.
Okay, Max. I'm flying to Puerto Vallarta today. Can you say Puerto Vallarta?
Santo Domingo.
No, that was yesterday.
Honolulu. Miami.
Puerto Vallarta.
Montego Bay. Orlando. Cancun.
Puerto Vallarta.
Fort Lauderdale.
You can see all these sunny destinations on Trans World Airlines. We're up to something good.
Puerto.
Huh?
Puerto. Puerto Rico.
I've had a computer for a couple of years now, but to be honest, I didn't see what all the fuss was about. Then I got America Online. Now I use it all the time. It makes my life easier. Watch. Use email to send messages to family and friends. Point and click your way around the internet with America Online's great new web browser. And there's more. Scan hundreds of magazines, get sports scores, enjoy hobbies, even shop online. So call this toll-free number and get everything you need to make your life easier and more fun.
Tonight, when the gavel goes down on O.J.'s civil trial, MSNBC is there with a one-hour special report, live from the courthouse tonight at 8 Eastern on Internight, only on MSNBC.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Jack Nicklaus's personal technique that helps straighten slices.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Dave Peltz's revolutionary technique that has even the pros putting more accurately.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Get out of sand without sweat. Greg Norman's Earth Mover secret shows you how, guaranteed. Now take 2, 3, 4, even more strokes off your game with the secrets you'll get in your free issue of Golf Magazine.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Master teacher Jim McLean's simple secret to longer, straighter tee shots every time. Call now to get your free issue of Golf Magazine, plus receive your free Golf Magazine umbrella. Shoot lower, play better, or you don't pay. That's the Golf Magazine guarantee. Call now for your free no-obligation issue of Golf Magazine. If you decide to subscribe, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $16.97. Plus this Golf Magazine umbrella free with your paid subscription. Call now.
Now, unless somebody is going to be able to go back to his football years and say, oh, well, it's the guy who doesn't bruise. I mean, we remember that from O.J. years ago. I mean, he got hit and tackled, knocked over, etc. Come in the dressing room, next day, no black and blue marks. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So I don't know. I don't know how it went, and it's very difficult for me to imagine that a guy could bring off those murders and get back to Rockingham as quickly as he supposedly did. Now, what they do in Killing Time is they take all of the times that we really know, from the time that he called Paula Barbieri, to the telephone calls that Alan Park made in the limousine out in front of the mansion. And they also do something that is very fascinating. They say that they took these tests at night, and they say that you cannot sit where Alan Park was sitting in the car and not see a Bronco pass you. It's that they did it a number of ways. They did it slowly. It's because the Bronco's a loud car. They turned the lights off and tried to just coast down there. They said it is veritably impossible to not see a car pass you of that size and it's that noisy. So the idea that Park is sitting there and then suddenly he looks in the mirror and then he sees this car over here, and then he sees this figure coming across. Now, I'm not saying he didn't see the figure coming across the yard, but I was very impressed by the fact that they said when they did these tests at night, they found it impossible not to see the Bronco. So I think there are enormous holes in the prosecution's case, and I've been most disturbed about the kind of people like Geraldo Rivera, that ringmaster of hysteria. Sanctimonious.
Wait a minute, you're talking about my friend now.
Well, like they say, he's yours, not mine. Or what do they say? What's that thing in the blues? She's mine, she's yours, she's somebody else's too.
Yeah. Not the case there. Huh?
But I mean, these people wrap this up like that. Like Geraldo Rivera, who's talked about people eating dogs and stuff, that kind of stuff on his show. Now he's like Mr. Clarence Darrow in reverse, right? He's going to defend the nation against this mass murderer. And this guy and these other guys, they don't get disturbed about the Lavoti case. They weren't foaming at the mouth when this cop, who admits to putting a chokehold that the NYPD that has banned for that very reason, was let off. Yeah. See, he was guilty the moment he put the chokehold on. Now, when this judge acquitted this guy, you didn't see Geraldo crying and steam coming out of his ear and all his ears about that. He was waiting for the next message about OJ, right? So he could say, another man with a mansion besides me.
It's been fun. We ran way over here, but I don't care. Anyway, it was great having you here. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much. Stanley Crouch here in the Imus Morning Program. The author of the All-American Skin Game. You can still buy that at place. That was fun. That was great fun. Thank you.
Thanks to me.
Well, we didn't do any local news. We didn't do any commercials. We didn't do anything.
Well, we'll get to it.
But we'll get to it when we feel like getting to it.
Absolutely.
We do what we want to do it.
Damn right.
Yeah. So it's 3 minutes after the hour.
Introducing Precision Movements by Raymond Weil. The Parsifal Collection. Swiss handcrafted, water-resistant, solid 18-karat gold and stainless steel. Raymond Weil invites you to enter the world of movement and extreme accuracy. At last, a timepiece whose style matches your own. The Parsifal Collection. Available at fine jewelers.
You can master the Internet and the World Wide Web with Internet World, the leading Internet magazine. Internet World covers websites, equipment, news, and issues about how the Internet will affect you and the way you do business. 12 issues are just $16.77. Call now and receive free How the Internet Can Work for You.
Master the Internet. Call 800-641-1919. That's 800-641-1919 for Internet World Magazine.
You into sports? I mean really into sports? Great, me too. The Big Four. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. If you're like me, you need more than the score. You need to know what's coming. Penetrating analysis of teams and players. The inside story on strategies and trade rumors. Who's hot and who's not. And why. From people out there where it's happening. Like me, week after week. And I'll even give you a great deal. We've been called the Bible of sports for over 100 years. We deliver the inside scoop on every team, on every franchise. So no matter where you live, the sporting news keeps you close to your favorite team, pro or college. Okay, here's the deal.
Call 1-800-641-1919 to get 4 free issues of the Sporting News and tell them The Fly sent you.
The affiliates around the country, I realized that I ran over with Stanley Crouch and dumped a stop set, and, I just did, that's all, because I was interested.
Yes.
And then we ran through the top of the hour, so we didn't do any local news.
Right.
We're still talking to Mr. Crouch.
Right.
So.
He was a fascinating guy.
Yeah, fascinating and funny.
As you told us.
Everything you're not.
And so I don't know what to do. And, of course, MSNBC so screws up the coverage of this program that it's irritating. And while I think, for the most part, they do a good job, the way they cut away and chop this program up is just disgraceful. And they refuse to change it. So there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm happy enough with most of the other things they do that I'm not going to...
Why won't they change it?
I don't know. That I'm not going to cause an issue about it. But anyway, Stanley Crouch, I just said, man, we can't have him on enough, can we?
No.
So we keep discovering, you keep discovering people who are good guests. That goof, Laura Ingraham.
Yep.
Stanley Crouch now.
Right in the Rolodex.
Remember Barnacle? We just thought Barnacle was a fat drunk. Or how about Russert?
Well, he is.
How about the first time I had Greenfield on? We just thought Greenfield was a geek.
Sure. Chipmunk cheat geek.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Anyway, some fascinating stuff. It's Stanley Crouch. And he was talking about how he had read this book called Killing
Time?
Yeah, Killing Time, about the O.J. Simpson case, and that he had real doubts about whether O.J. Simpson, in fact, did this or not, and talked about why. And that was basically what the end of the conversation was. I'm certainly not representing what Mr. Krause specifically said, but that's essentially it. So anyway, we'll do the national news now, and then we'll have an edition of Imus in Washington that's terrific. We'll hammer Rob some more, who's done pulled. Here's what Rob has done. He's pulled yet another weasel stunt. You know, and he just, you wonder, because there is an obvious pattern here of just these instances of weaseldom from Rob, isn't there?
Could he be simply an unfortunate victim of an unusual set of circumstances?
Well, he doesn't make clear when he agrees to do these things. He's agreed to do something now for the Connecticut Forum on November 1st, which is the reason he will not be going to the Hate Radio Rodeo with us. And I ought to insist that he go. In fact, I may do that. I may meet with the management of the radio station here today and insist that he go. So Larry Kinney's going. Of course, according to this, Larry Kinney won't have anything to do when he gets there. But
there's no reason for him to go.
But so we have this 4-line bio of Rob, which he says he didn't know anything about, and that these morons at the Connecticut Forum just assumed that Rob does all the voices on the Imus Morning program. Well, first of all, they aren't voices. That's the number one. But so we will tomorrow on the Imus Morning program. You will get to hear Rob Bartlett's Richard Nixon and his Walter Cronkite and his Andy Rooney's. As it's represented in this, that's what he does on the. And then, of course, Rob calls and claims he doesn't know anything about it. He says, well, they just assumed that. Well, why doesn't Rob tell him what he does? Because the stuff about Al Franken, the stuff about Bob Englehart, and the stuff about Jeff Greenfield, that's all accurate. So the only person that they're inaccurate in representing what they do is Rob. Don't you think that's
glaring?
Don't you think that's odd?
Well, on the face of it, yes, I guess it is odd.
And Rob just got out of the doghouse yesterday. He did a Wendy's commercial with Fat Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
How they got those two in the studio is beyond me.
Well, I don't know.
So Rob just did a new Wendy's commercial, so he didn't come to work yesterday. He showed up at 2 o'clock, finally.
It was shot at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the dirigible hangar. So I understand.
And Larry and I said, why didn't you at least call us? So he just goes, he's a little sweetheart, but he just does one hideous, horrible thing after another, solely intended to irritate me.
Do you think you're suggesting there is malice behind this?
Absolute abject malice. Suggesting malice.
I can't.
Well, see, because you are such a wuss.
How am I a wuss?
You are just a
oh, that's silly.
You are.
You just said he's a sweet guy.
You look up sycophant in the dictionary, and there's a picture of you.
Well, you're right about that.
No, but I mean, you want to cut everybody slack.
Yes, I do. It's my nature.
But I mean,
it is my nature. Does that make me a horrible person?
Yes.
That I want to cut everybody slack?
This is egregious.
How the hell does that make me a horrible person?
Because you're trying to defend him.
I'm not defending him. I'm simply saying that perhaps we need to explore it further.
There's nothing to explore when his only explanation is...
Oh, there's something to explore.
His only explanation is that they must have assumed something.
Find the strawberries yet, boss?
Well, no, but it's just irritating.
It's much ado about really very.
Of course it is. It's me making a big issue out of nothing.
Absolutely.
But that's
case.
But well, that's the way it's going to be. So I can't wait till he gets here.
So
like
that's your basic
in person.
nature.
Anyway, it's 10 after the hour now. So let's do the national news. We got two big fires out in California.
Yes, sir.
Another one in Providence, Rhode Island. Other stuff going on. So.
All right.
All right, there's Charles and Craig. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, I'm in. Los Angeles County authorities are relieved to report that the Santa Ana winds have died down overnight, and they hope those winds stay down this morning so that more aircraft can get in there and continue to drop water on the flames, which have damaged or destroyed 130 homes at several locations in Southern California. 11 people now have been injured in the Southern California fires. 6 of those are firefighters, and one of them was terribly burned. Over 70% of his body. He is in critical condition and reportedly close to death. Fire Battalion Chief Al Bennett says the injuries have rattled firefighters who are still out there on the front line.
It really affects them. You know, they're brother firefighters, and it affected them quite seriously.
California Governor Pete Wilson has declared a state of emergency in 3 Southern California counties, and he is asking the president for a federal disaster declaration. The California wildfires have charred 35,000 acres to this point. And then there's this 9-year-old boy who reportedly has confessed to setting a fire
which consumed a factory and a number of homes in South Providence, Rhode Island overnight. 100 people homeless as a result, and Providence Mayor Vincent Buddy Cianci has this to say regarding the arson suspect.
He is in custody. He made incriminating statements. He was in the presence of his mother. He's basically confessed to this dastardly deed.
And of the 100 people left homeless, 60 of them are children there in South Providence, Rhode Island. At least 23 people are dead in a cargo aircraft crash. A plane that went down in flames in the downtown area of Manta, Ecuador. Radio reports say the plane's 3 crew members, believed to be Americans, were killed, along with 20 people who were there on the ground in the crowded neighborhood. A hospital official says at least 20 people are being treated for critical burns. The Boeing 707 cargo plane had just taken off for Miami with a load of frozen fish when it slammed into a church bell tower and then crashed in a downtown neighborhood in Manta, Ecuador. President Clinton wraps up a 2-day campaign swing in Florida today, speech in Daytona Beach about welfare. At a fundraiser last night in Coral Gables, the president used a little sports analogy to urge supporters to get out and vote.
Some of them held tickets on horses that were ahead in the stretch, but the only tickets they collected on were the horses that were ahead at the finish line. The finish line is November.
I can't take any of them anymore.
Sports a pox on all their houses.
The hideously stupid, lame sports analogies. And in fact, Jeff Greenfield in the current issue of Time magazine suggests that they employ some others more perhaps appropriate, specifically the Republicans, in their efforts to appeal to the soccer moms. More national news and Tim McCarver coming up 13 after the hour. Here now, late headline developments we're following for you in the Imus in Washington Network newsroom.
I'm David Brinkley. I'm old, and I'm out of here. Sick of all of you and all of this. But joined, as usual, by some folks with whom you're familiar, these parasites who've been clinging to me for all these years. Walter Cronkite, Rush Limbaugh, John Donald Imus, Paul Harvey, and sitting in for Cokie Roberts this morning, Coco, a mountain gorilla on loan from the San Diego Zoo.
That'll be fine.
And a fair exchange, I judge. Here now, some late news. President Clinton's re-election team continues to brush aside inquiries about potentially improper, if not illegal, fundraising tactics by the Democratic National Committee, pleading ignorance, changing the subject, and launching attacks on the fundraising strategies of Bob Dole. Here's some of what the president himself was saying about it today.
Hey, baby, wanna go out?
I told you, honey, November 6th. Yeah, well, this here Endogate thing, see, what it was I asked Hillary where'd she left the grocery list, you know, and she said she left it out in front for the Secret Service guys so they could go to the store for me, you know, and I said, well, exactly where'd you leave it? And she said she left it in the gate, see, right out front. And the whole thing got misconstrued from in the gate to Endogate, you know, like it was some laundry list of campaign bribes out of Asia or something, when it was really just a grocery list of stuff to pick up at a Korean deli. Thank you very much.
Yes, Daddy. You look so good.
Jesus, baby, you're gonna blow this. No, not now.
Well, Americans, latest polling continues to suggest that the Dole campaign's assault on Clinton administration ethics continues to go the wrong way for the Republican candidate. In fact, hit with new questions about anemic economic growth, a national debt now approaching $6 trillion, taxes at their highest point in history, small business hurting, and a society saturated with drugs, sexual permissiveness, skyrocketing out-of-wedlock pregnancies, and open contempt for institutional authority. The latest New York Times CBS poll now shows 7 in 10 adults who are considered certain to vote November 5th now believe that Bill Clinton is God. And the author of the book of Genesis, currently under scrutiny by Bill Moyers on PBS. Meantime, page 2. At a campaign stop in either Kalamazoo, Michigan, Dayton, Ohio, or Alexandria, Virginia. Well, whatever. Make much difference. Get my ass kicked anyhow. Suck it up, Pops. Former Senator Dole was asked about the wisdom of attacks on Clinton administration ethics in view of apparently ever-widening poll numbers. You can't look at these polls, you know. Jack Kemp told Bob Dole that. He's been there. Told Bob Dole when you're in the third quarter, you can't look at the fourth. And if you're third and long, back in the second there, hand it off. It's what Bob Dole's going to do. Hand it off. Hand it off. Throw one of those male Harrys or Jail Larry or Cash and Carry, whatever role you're playing there. Jesus, how should I know? I mean, we're in hell mad here. Whatever. Immediately after concluding his remarks, Senator Dole began flailing away at his campaign manager, Scott Reed, with his good arm, trying to, as the senator put it, beat the worthless little sucker to death.
In other news, O.J. Simpson, confident of another acquittal, this time in the civil case against him, announced today he is introducing a line of men's cosmetic products, using as a marketing model the wildly successful Santa Fe, New Mexico company, the Auto Body Express. O.J. met with reporters at a burning house in Malibu, California.
Hi, y'all. I'm going to get rich again, just like my mentor, Fred Imus. This here bottle contained my first product based on the stuff Fred's selling. I figure if he can do it, anybody can, including double murderers. Fred just introduced his White Buffalo Cologne. This here is O.J. Simpson's White Bronco Cologne. But instead of coming in a dungaree pouch, mine comes in a knit cap.
Overseas, fresh concern about the real status of the health of Pope John Paul II. When, in an effort by the Vatican to dispel suspicions about the pontiff's condition, he took a stroll in St. Peter's Square, appearing pale and supported on either side by a pair of cardinals, in what observers characterized as an apparent weekend at Bernie's thing, as His Holiness appeared to bless the crowd only when the cardinals raised their hands, and at one point fell face first into a fountain, when the cardinals were momentarily distracted by a visiting troop of Boy Scouts from the United States.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've just had a report that even as he is the subject of intense criticism over a fundraising event at a Buddhist temple, Vice President Al Gore has just attended a Democratic National Committee fundraiser at a witch's coven in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where, dressed in a black cape and hood, Mr. Gore even joined in the witch's incantation, as you can hear if you listen to this tape we've just received.
Is the internet the future of news? The site tonight. You're connected to MSNBC.
Too many bills, not enough money. Every month we're deeper in debt.
Which is larger, your ambition or your income? Step up to a career in electronics. The Cleveland Institute of Electronics, CIE, is for men and women with ambition to land high-paying jobs, gain promotions, and make careers. Through CIE's independent study, learn from among the world's most highly regarded electronic specialists. In the U.S. and in 70 nations, more than 100,000 CIE graduates are earning top incomes in electronics. Approved by the Department of Veterans Affairs, CIE is fully accredited and licensed in all 50 states. If you have an intense desire to make it, call toll-free 1-800-952-2626 now and receive your free catalog. Secure your future in electronics.
That's the last of the bills, and there's money in the bank.
Why don't we get away for a long weekend?
On time and again, a peacekeeping mission shattered by a massacre of American Marines, the Beirut bombing. Tonight at 7 Eastern on MSNBC.
There's only one person with the inside information to manage your net worth, and that's you. You're the CEO of your own personal investment company. And your key to success is good information. Exactly what you'll find in Worth magazine. You want advice on stocks and mutual funds? Hire Peter Lynch. You'll find him exclusively in Worth. You want a global view? Jim Rogers has circled the world for a first-hand look at opportunities. Rumblings in the White House can affect your house, and renowned political economist Walter Mead will tell you how. Call now for a free issue of Worth. If you like it, get 9 more for just $15. If you decide it's not for you, mark the bill cancel and owe nothing. And with payment, you'll get this special edition of Peter Lynch's book, Beating the Street, free. This collection of lessons learned in the trenches includes Peter's 25 golden rules of investing. When it comes to your money, you're the boss. Hire the best.
We're ready for takeoff, sir.
Worth. Financial intelligence. Call now.
Try it risk-free for 21 days. Then you'll see for yourself.
Not helpful. Unless, of course, you meet up with someone who drives like a blade instead of like a Norelco. Or if you have a boss like a blade.
I don't feel well anyway.
You know, life would be a lot less...
Can you hear me?
In general, if more things work like the new Norelco...
Would you have anything to say in response?
Instead of like a blade.
Except that I didn't realize Joey was here.
Norelco, anything closer could be too close for comfort. The issues...
Your head's still shining, by the way.
Couldn't be clearer. Tax relief, welfare reform, and illegal immigration.
Looks like a highway flare.
I have answers.
Congressman Bill Martini voted for our plan to give families a $500 per child tax credit and a tax deduction for college tuition payments.
Breen, you got to be out by 25.
Jim Florio's $2.8 billion tax increase, which increased your income, sales, and gas taxes. Congressman Martini voted for our efforts to fight welfare fraud, to require able-bodied welfare recipients to get a job, and for ending taxpayer benefits.
I can't hear you.
Food stamps.
I just said, did you see the piece in the New York Times Magazine?
Personal responsibility.
I hope.
Our bill reforming welfare.
On the
and Congressman
Genesis
Bill
thing.
Martini voted to stem the tide of illegal immigrants.
You mean the beginning of the Bible?
Penalties. For more information about these issues, call 609-989-7300. That's 609-989-7300. Paid for by the Republican National Committee.
All right, the Bell Atlantic 90s Mobile Fan Highway Patrol. Sponsored by Cooper Tire CEO Walter John Boulevard Tire, 1375 Patterson Black Road, Secaucus, New Jersey. Well, when it comes to tires, there's one manufacturer that stands tall among the rest, Cooper Tires. You know what I'd like to be able to do? Is that when you get somebody like Stanley Crouch on, or some of these, we've had a number of people here who you could spend an hour talking to, couldn't you?
And should be kept. Some of them absolutely would justify that decision, man. Why not?
I don't know. We got to change our policy here. Anyway, American owned and operated Cooper Tire takes special tires. They're great tires. They're great tires. They're made in this country. They're great tires. And they have Charles went and bought he could have bought any set of tires he wanted. He bought Cooper tires. I mean, plus they look neat. I particularly like the black ones and the white Cooper thing on it. I got them. They're just neat looking. Visit Gabriel Tire at Route 35 in South Amboy on Route 22 in Scotts Plains, Route 35 in Deal Road in Ocean Township, New Jersey. Cooper Tire. All right, here's Lloyd McNipple now with the Bell Atlantic 90s Mobile Fan Highway Patrol and a little New York weather. Good morning, Miss McNipple.
Miss who?
Miss McNipple!
What?
Nipple! Nipple! I said nipple!
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Miss McNipple!
What in the hell is the matter with you?
Do the cars.
Fine. Southbound on the BQE, there's an accident slowing things down on the Kosciuszko Bridge. Use caution and expect delays eastbound on the Belt Parkway approaching the Mill Basin Drawbridge. What is wrong with you? That's not my name. Heading downtown on the West Side Highway, you're bumper to bumper from the Georgia to the 150s.
She's the only one who doesn't know.
Stop it.
The high weather, an overcast afternoon, the high about 65 and at the moment 56 and cloudy. This report's brought to you by Coastal Gas. Today's higher performing engines need higher octane, and Coastal's premium octane is one of the best with patented detergent additives to keep your engine clean.
That'll be fine.
For quality gasolines at competitive prices, fill up at Coastal. I'm Lori McNichol for the Bell Atlantic.
And now, Imus in the Morning 2020 Sports with Mark Breen.
Down the stretch by Wetland. Again, the 0-2. Hit on the ground towards second. Scooped up by Soho. Throws to first. In time. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
The Braves are shaking. Good morning. Mike Brainward Sports. John Sterling the call. 5-2 is the final.
I can't get my kids to eat right. All they want is junk food. One way to give them extra nutrition is with rich chocolate Ovaltine. It's got vitamins Nestle Quick and Hershey's don't.
Rich chocolate Ovaltine in the new blue package. Tastes great. Great for you.
Need stronger itch medication?
It was extremely itchy.
Extra Strength Gold Bond Medicated Powder with extra strength to medicate, absorb, and dry.
It was cooling. It stopped the itch.
Extra Strength Gold Bond Powder. Extra medicated for extra relief.
I've had a computer for a couple of years now, but to be honest, I didn't see what all the fuss was about. Then I got America Online. Now I use it all the time. It makes my life easier. Watch. Use email to send messages to family and friends. Point and click your way around the internet with America Online's great new web browser. And there's more. Scan hundreds of magazines, get sports scores, enjoy hobbies, even shop online. So call this toll-free number and get everything you need to make your life easier and more fun.
It starts as a blank ribbon of newsprint. Then it captures the most important business news from around the globe to become the Wall Street Journal. No one looks at the world quite like the Journal. It not only reports the facts, it tells you what they mean and how they'll affect you, your family, your career. Whether it's news from Wall Street, Main Street, Frankfurt, or Tokyo, the Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights on everything that can affect you personally and professionally. And because our readers use its unique power to help them succeed, we do it again every business day. The Wall Street Journal, always relevant, always useful. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626 for the Wall Street Journal.
Imus in the morning.
Outcome of the disciplinary hearing we'll be having in my office today as soon as Rob gets here. Maybe Rob and the Bartletts, or maybe not. Probably as their punishment, they won't be allowed to appear. That probably will be.
It's a sanction.
That and a substantial fine. Tim McCarver is an occasional guest on this program, and a charming one. He's covering the World Series, this time for Fox. He works for everybody. You know, whoever has the game, that's where he goes. He's a former, fairly accomplished catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies, I think. And here he is now from Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning, Mr. McCarver.
How are you, Don? How you doing?
Are you off the floor yet?
What do you mean off the floor?
Well, half the last night's game you spent cowering underneath the table there in the booth.
Well, now, what does that mean?
Every time there was a foul ball hit, weren't you on the floor?
Well, no. I mean, I have had a string of bad luck. I've had foul balls following me around, it seems. Yeah. What do you mean cowering?
Well, maybe I could have put it a different way.
You could have. You could have been a little softer with that.
Seeking cover.
Seeking cover, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing, right.
It's like when Joe Buck, is he the son of...
son of Jack Buck, right.
Okay. It's like when Joe Buck, they're talking about the blimp starting to fly in 1926, and he started to make some Tim McCarver 1926 reference, and you snapped at him like you snapped at me the last time you were on this program. So what's the deal with you snapping at everything?
I did not.
Oh, you bit his head off.
Yeah. I was born in 1941. I wasn't around in 1926.
But it revealed that you were very sensitive about it. That's all.
I thought I would nip that in the bud.
Well, believe me, you did. I don't think there's any confusion there. Before we talk about last night's game, what can we do to get rid of Chip Caray? I mean,
now that's not necessary. I mean, why do you want to? I think he's doing a great job.
Oh, God,
come on!
He's screaming into the. Well, it's over here in Atlanta. God, shut up!
Well, there's a lot of noise on the field, Don. You've got to understand that.
Tell me about last night's game. Why do you think the Yankees managed to win this one?
I think because of David Cone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean that performance during the sixth inning I thought was very exemplary, and the type of guy that Cone is. It was a gutty performance. Torrey got his formula last night that he wanted. 6 out of the starting pitcher, and 2 he actually got 1+ out of Mariano Rivera. But a great job by Graham Lloyd, and then Wetland, the closer.
Of course, there was some discussion there. Maybe it was in the booth or maybe it was on the field. I wasn't paying that close attention about taking Cone out at that point, right?
Well, there was. Yeah, Torrey came out and asked him. I don't know exactly what he asked him, but I'll find that out tonight. But he said something to the effect of, "Do you still have your stuff?" And he said yes, and that was not unexpected. I mean, that's the type of guy and type of pitcher David Cone is. And since the pitcher was coming up to bat third in the top of the 7th inning, I think that was another reason that entered Torrey's thinking in leaving David Cone in the game.
Cone almost got a hit, too, didn't he, with the time I saw him back?
Yeah, he did. Let's slice one down third. Chipper Jones made a good play. It's wild down here. I'll tell you that, I'm looking at the Atlanta Constitution now. There is a picture of a father with his son, and the father has draped over his neck a sign saying, "We'll trade my son for a ticket."